So you just got done taking a pop quiz, okay? Since we didn't have a quiz over 1.8 and 1.9, I wanted to give you an opportunity to see if you remembered the material without the use of your notes. So if this was a little rough, that's okay, because we have a couple days to prepare for our test, which is on Monday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal to you the answers to these questions. Okay, so here we go. What I want you to do is just compare your answers to these. And before I go through how to do these problems, I would like you to turn to a neighbor and have any discussions about either problem 1 or problem 2 and maybe what went wrong, or maybe ask a question or help somebody else if they had something that went wrong. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to turn and talk. Okay, so here we go. We know that the domain of f is all real numbers because it is a quadratic. We know the domain of g is -2 to infinity because it is a square root graph shifted left 2. Okay. Now, when we do the composition, this just means f of g of x. Okay, so our function g is radical x plus 2. And when we go and we plug that back into function f, we have replacing x squared plus 7. So the square root and square cancel, and we're left with x plus 2 plus 7, which is how we get x plus 9. Okay. Now, x plus 9 would have a domain of all real numbers, but since we have g as our inside function, we have to look at that domain and compare it to our outcomes domain. And since their overlap is only -2 to infinity, then that is why this domain for the composite is -2 to infinity. Okay, let's look at number 2. First of all, our original function f is a square root graph shifted right 5. So when we talk about the domain and range, we know our domain is 5 to infinity and our range is 0 to infinity. Now, when we actually go and find our inverse, we know we have to switch x and y and solve for y. So in order to solve, we're going to need to square both sides. So x squared equals y minus 5, or y equals x squared plus 5. So our inverse is x squared plus 5. Now, remember, our domain and range switch, just like our x's and y's switch. So the domain of f becomes the range of f inverse, And the range of f becomes the domain of f inverse. Remember, we are taking a square root graph and we are finding its inverse. So when we get to the inverse, this is only half of a parabola, okay? Because we are taking the inverse of this square root graph, okay? If you need any clarifications on these problems, ask a peer or your teacher, okay? So Mr. Griebel and Ms. Homan both have office hours tonight that you can ask them a question during, okay? If you're in Mr. Griebel's class, please stop this video. If you're in Ms. Homan's class, I have one more thing for you. So, I have not been there to do our daily homework checks, but I need to see your homework because it's a grade, okay? So what I'm going to do, instead of bothering you on Monday when I'm back and you're trying to take your test, I am going to give you until Sunday night to give me the 7 homework assignments that I haven't checked off from you. So you have 1.5A, 1.5B, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8A, those are all last week, and then this week 1.8B and 1.9. So what I'm going to do, and I've already done it by the time you're watching this video, is I've opened an assignment in Google Classroom, and I want you to scan all of those homework assignments in. It's going to be multiple pages. That's fine. Just upload all of those pages. My suggestion would be to scan it in as a PDF like we've talked about. And all of those pages are just in one PDF and upload it into Google Classroom. Okay. I'd like you to do that by Sunday night. Because remember, homework's due by the time that we take the test anyway. Monday when we take the test, I'm not accepting any homework. So by Sunday night, I need you to upload all of those assignments into Google Classroom. So just to clarify, I'm opening one assignment in Google Classroom, and you're creating a PDF from all of the pictures that encompass those 7 assignments. It's fine if they're all together. I can sift through them. If you have them labeled like 1.5A, page blah, 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 1.5B, page blah, blah, blah. That'll make it easier for me to grade on Monday, okay? Please make sure you turn in your homework to me before Monday. So, in Google Classroom, you need it done Sunday before you go to